Josephine's Restaurant and Catering. We offer lutong bahay Filipino dishes and desserts. Try our crispy pata, lumpiang Shanghai, pancit palabok, rellenong manok, and many more. We serve halo-halo, leche flan, and other traditional Filipino desserts. For events and special occasions, Josephine's also offers catering services and takeout party trays. For authentic Filipino cuisine and true Pinoy taste, try Josephine's Restaurant and Catering, 2650 Main Street in Vancouver.
Balitang Vancouver is brought to you by Brayfort Media Group.
Hello mga kabayan, narito na naman po ang isang linggo ng mga balita tungkol sa ating komunidad. Boses at kwento ng mga Pinoy dito. Ako si Irene Kerubin.
At ako po si Franco Telay.
Ito ang Balitang Vancouver. Sa Balitang Vancouver ngayon, alamin natin ang mga programang nais tutukan ng bagong Consul General.
Bagong compass system sa SkyTrain sisimulan na.
Alamin natin ang side effects ng mga ikinakabit sa mata bilang Halloween costume. Bagong Consul General sa Philippine Consulate sa Vancouver dumating na. Alamin natin ang mga programang planong tutukan ni Consul General Neil Frank Ferrer sa report na ito. Bago ma-assign sa Vancouver, dating Minister at Consul General si Neil Frank Ferrer sa Philippine Embassy sa Ottawa, kaya't hindi na rin siya bago dito sa Canada. Nadestino rin siya sa China at United Kingdom with 22 years experience in foreign service. Ikinatutuwa ni Conjen ang mainit na pagbati sa kanya ng community dito sa Vancouver.
It's been a very pleasant, experience for us so far, and it's been we're very grateful to have been received warmly, by the people here, the Filipino community, and of course we're blessed with a very good weather. We've been here for the past 2 weeks, and so far it's been a good experience for us.
Bilang bagong Consul General sa Vancouver, nais daw niyang tutukan ng ilan sa mga programa ng Philippine Consulate.
We will be providing a big emphasis on our economic diplomacy initiatives. So we'll be focusing more on promoting investments to the Philippines, increasing our trade relations with Canada, and of course promoting tourism in the Philippines.
At ipagpapatuloy rin niya ang mga nasimulang outreach programs para mas gawing accessible para sa mga kababayan ang mga serbisyong ibinibigay ng consulate.
Of course, I will be giving equal importance to all the work. Marami tayong trabaho, no? So our frontline services is of course the passports notarial. So we will be continually providing all these services, especially to our kababayans in faraway places, within our jurisdiction, because it is quite expensive for them if they are, for example, based in Alberta to travel to Vancouver to renew their passports. So we will be continuing on our consular outreach services in those far-flung areas to service better our kababayans and our Filipino community in those places, on top of the special focus that we will be putting on economic diplomacy activities.
Meron ding efforts mula sa kanyang opisina para maiwasan ang kaso ng human trafficking at mga pang-aabuso ng employers sa mga kababayan natin sa Canada.
Human trafficking is a very serious offense. It is a crime both in the Philippines and Canada, of course. And before coming here, I was based in Ottawa, and I was covering, these issues from our embassy in Ottawa. So basically, what we are doing is that we are cooperating more closely with the Canadian government, both at the federal and at the provincial level to avoid this. And we are doing this in partnership with our implementing agencies, with our labor department, our immigration department in the Philippines, and of course with the relevant departments here in Canada, the CIC for one, the border services.
At proud family man naman si Consul General kapag wala siya sa trabaho.
Well, Irene, I think as you may have heard, I am a blessed father of four children. They happen to be all girls. So I enjoy their company. My eldest is 16 years old. Of course, she's in grade 12, going to the university later on. But I am blessed with a 1-year-old baby. So, I try to spend as much time as possible with my children, especially the young ones. So that's what I do, during my spare time.
So would you say that when you're not working, you're busy changing diapers?
I do that, I do all those things,
Ang BC Civil Liberties Association ay nag-file ng lawsuit laban sa Communications Establishment Security Canada at nagsabing ang programang surveillance ay unconstitutional.
Nitong linggo lamang, ang BC Civil Liberties Association ay nag-file ng lawsuit laban sa Canadian National Security Agency, ang Communications Security Establishment Canada o CSEC, at nagsabing ang pagkalap ng datos sa lahat ng pribadong komunikasyon sa labas ng Canada at malawakang koleksyon ng metadata information online at sa mobile o telepono ay lumalabag sa mga karapatan na nakasaad sa Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
BCCLA's lawsuit claims that the Communication Security Establishment of Canada, otherwise known as CSIC, is engaged in illegal surveillance of Canadians. And we make this claim on two bases. First, we say that CSIC is listening in on Canadians' phone calls, reading their emails and text messages when they're communicating with someone outside of Canada, and when the Minister of National Defence has given the okay. We also say that CSIC is collecting metadata that's produced each and every time that a Canadian uses a mobile phone or accesses the internet. And this metadata isn't the content of conversations, but when you collect it on a wide scale, it can tell the government a lot about who people are and their interests and their relationships to other people. So that information we say is private information that CSIC is getting access to.
Aminado ang BCCLA na nasa batas ang kapangyarihan ng CSEC, subalit layon ng lawsuit na alamin ang statistics data na magpapakita kung gaano kalawak ang ganitong uri ng surveillance.
Well, we know that there are laws on the book that allow them to do that, right? So we know what the law is. The law allows them to listen to our phone calls in certain circumstances. We know that there is a secret ministerial directive that allows them to collect that metadata information that I was talking about. So we know the law allows them to do it. We know that they are doing it. What we don't know is how frequently they do it, how often they do it, how many Canadians have been affected by it. And that's just because CSIC has refused to tell us that information.
Dagdag pang mahalagang alamin kung sa paanong paraan magkakaroon ng sistemang supervision o monitoring sa ganitong kalawak na kapangyarihan.
Right, so everyone has a right to privacy and to be protected against unreasonable search and seizure by the government. So in the criminal context, like if the police suspect that you've done something wrong, they have to have reasonable and probable grounds. They have to go to a judge, they have to get a warrant, and then they can go into your house and do certain things, very specifically, right? Here, we've got a situation where there's no judge that's involved, there's no court that's involved, Parliament isn't looking at this. So these things are being authorized in a secret way and without proper oversight. And we say that's what makes it unconstitutional and that's what makes it violate the rights of privacy of Canadians.
Sa ibang balita naman, ipatutupad na ng TransLink ang bagong sistemang Compass. Narito ang report.
Pagpasok ng Nobyembre, Disyembre nitong taon, ay pasisimulan na ang bagong sistemang Compass ng TransLink sa lahat ng pampublikong transit system.
Compass is an exciting project for us here, and it's basically was introduced with a bunch of goals in mind. One, to make it much more convenient for customers to pay their fares, to manage their products and stuff, because they'll be able to do that online, they'll be able to do it over the phone, they'll be able to buy cards at any of the vending machines and manage their accounts in lots of different ways, which brings it up to a more modern standard. And also they'll be able to register their card and get balance protection. So that's if they lose their card and it's registered, they can report it lost, and that card will get disabled, and they can have their balance transferred to a new card. Whereas today, you can't do that with a monthly pass. If you lose it, it's gone, and you have to get yourself another monthly pass. So we think that's a good benefit for our customers. Another good benefit is that they'll be able to set up auto load, so that if they're someone who doesn't travel on this system every day but does it frequently enough, then they can set up their card, load a certain amount of money on, and when it gets below a certain threshold, a low balance, then it'll automatically recharge from their bank account or from their credit card. So that's a real good, convenient thing for customers. Another thing that Compass is going to do is it's going to help us make the system more efficient, because it's going to give us data about our customer movements and that, and we'll be able to better plan our resources and better deploy our buses in particular to match the demand. So we'll know where people are getting on and off and all that. We aggregate all of the data and make it anonymous, and then study it and redeploy the system. So that's another great benefit too.
Kung kaya't inalam namin mula sa TransLink kung paano ito nagsimula at kung ano-ano ang mga benepisyo sa bagong sistemang Compass.
Right. So the purpose of the test, right, is to identify, we think everything's going to be fine, but we want to make sure and involve a whole bunch of people. So we got 10,000 people involved in the test, which was a fabulous response. And our beta testers were awesome, and I'd like to thank them all because they did a great job. But they found out a couple little things about the system. The colors on the screens, on the display screens, were hard to see in bright sunlight. So that's something that we're looking at. Another thing was the volume of the readers when you tap them. Some of them, some customers thought they were too loud. Other customers thought they weren't loud enough, and that depended on the service that they were using, whether it was a bus or a fare gate. And so that was another issue. And another issue was the speed of the readers on the buses. That some of them were a bit slower than we'd anticipated. So we're looking at all of those things, and I'm comfortable that we're going to get all of those addressed before we launch it out to the general public.
Inalam rin namin ang resulta ng nakaraang Compass testing ng may halos 10,000 public transit users at kung sa paanong paraan ito pasisimulan at kung sa paanong paraan ito makakatulong sa pinag-iba yung seguridad ng sistemang public transit.
So we're going to start launching this fall with West Coast Express. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get a small group of customers first and get them converted onto the Compass system, and then gradually add more and more customers as we move through the months. So we'll start with West Coast Express in November, December, and then in January we'll add some program passes, and then February, March we'll add some more program passes, and then once we get all of those folks settled on the system, then probably sometime around the end of the first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter of 2014, we'll make it more available to members of the general public. But we want to make sure that we land each group successfully first before we move on to the next, because it's going to be great for our customers, and we just want to make sure that our customer support channels aren't overwhelmed by the response. In the introduction of the fare gates and some of the modifications that we've made in the systems have made the system even more safe than it was before. We've added that the fare gates are a good visual and physical barrier, and so when we implement the system, they'll close it off and people will feel more safe and secure.
Noong nakaraang buwan naganap ang labanan sa pagitan ng Moro National Liberation Front at gobyerno sa Pilipinas. Inatake ng grupong MNLF ang Zamboanga City na pinamumunuan ni Normie Suari. Narito ang report ni Weng Tarazona mula sa Zamboanga.
There are two versions being reported as to where Normie Suari is. Military officials of the Western Command said that Miswari is still hiding in the province of Sulu. There were also growing reports that Miswari had left for Indonesia via Tawi-Tawi. Former Congressman of Sulu, Munir Arbison, said that some relatives of killed MNLF fighters are also hunting down Miswari, because according to Arbison, Miswari fooled some MNLF fighters the MNLF members were made to believe earlier that there will be a parade in Zamboanga City last September 9, and some MNLF members were surprised they were issued firearms upon arrival in Zamboanga and were told to launch the attack. Meanwhile, there were early suggestions from the public that the government should raise bounty to hunt Mizwari and Commander Malik, but Mayor Ben Climaco of Zamboanga City said she does not favor this because she will be needing the funds more to rehabilitate Zamboanga. Now, meanwhile, the police and the armed forces of the Philippines have already formed tracker teams to hunt the Mizwari and Commander Malik. Irene?
Isang matagumpay na celebration naman ang isinagawa ng Philippine-Canadian Trade Council para sa ika-30th anniversary nito. Alamin natin ang ilan sa mga naging ups and downs ng organisasyon sa nakalipas na 30 taon. Isang dinner party ang ginanap sa Coast Cole Harbor Hotel sa downtown Vancouver noong nakaraang linggo para sa ika-30th anniversary celebration ng Philippines-Canada Trade Council o PCTC. Layunin ng organisasyon na i-promote ang trade at entrepreneurship sa pagitan ng Canada at Philippines. Ayon kay President Leo Valdez, ang pangangalap ng membership ang isa sa naging primary challenges nito sa mga nakalipas na taon.
The past 30 years have been very challenging for our organization. Initially, when it started in 1983, it was always a problem trying to get members. And of course, we had to sort of revive it sometime in 1991 through the help of Mr. Attorney Asuncion. And from that point on, we have been having yearly elections. We have new presidents every year, and we have a very active board.
Sa kasalukuyan, umaabot sa 80 ang members ng PCTC at isa sa mga naging successful strides ng organisasyon sa loob ng 30 taon.
We've been successful in achieving a certain stature for members of the council or the PCTC. What happens is that as we move on from year to year, the organization is recognized not only by local businesses but also by the government, the Canadian government, local government.
Bukod sa pagsa-celebrate ng kanilang 30th anniversary, ang okasyong ito ay dedicated rin sa pag-welcome sa bagong Consul General sa Vancouver.
This is the Philippines-Canada Trade Council Vin de Honor, where we welcome the newest member of the Philippine Consul General Office, the new Congen. And what we normally do as a tradition for the Philippines-Canada Trade Council is we welcome the new Consul General to introduce him to the community as well as to introduce him to the business people in British Columbia.
Ilan sa mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas ang nagiging biktima ng summary execution na isinasagawa ng gobyerno. Minsan pa'y natatagpuan na lamang silang patay sa tabi ng ilog. Ito ang tema ng isang play na ginawa sa UBC noong Biyernes. Panoorin natin ang one-woman performance ng Filipino-Australian poet na si Merlinda Bobes. Sa play na ito, makikita ang multi-talent ng Filipino-Australian poet, writer, performer at academic na si Merlinda Bobes. Ito ang kanyang one-woman performance sa UBC Theater noong Biyernes na pinamagatang River River. Ipinapakita ni Bobes ang laganap na militarisasyon sa Bicol kung saan siya lumaki.
They came in a haze of the first fireflies. Tinsel of the green uniforms of the three men, bordering a sleeve here, circling about there, filling buttonholes, dotting an insignia, and smothering the mouth of the sergeant's M16. Sergeant for one.
Sa pinagsamang storytelling, drama, poetry, ritual at pasyon, nais pahalagahan ni Bobes ang mga naging biktima ng summary execution.
We think of them as, sometimes yung mga nawala, you think of them as numbers lang. Yung victims of war, insurgency or war, whatever part of the world. So you have to actually remember that they are bodies, they had lives, they had parents, they were loved, and they are missed. And so and that's why in the play, you name them.
Kilala ang Bicol bilang isa sa mga rehiyong may malakas na insurgency laban sa gobyerno. Laganap dito ang kahirapan, land grabbing at panunupil sa nagaganap na armed struggle noon pa man. Kaya malakas rin ang deploytasyon ng militar sa probinsya.
I was there during the Marcos time. Martial law was declared when I was about 13. And high school ako, nasa Bicol ako. So it's around, you see that. And I was still there during the Total War, 1987, but I always kept myself safe. But you see that around, so you see that. It's part of the environment, and you hear about people getting killed, getting shot.
Puno ng simbolo ang play ni Bobis, pero isa sa mensaheng nais niyang iiwan sa audience,
What I'm saying in the novel, really at the heart of it, is that we have a space for mourning others, even those who are not like us, not from our culture, not of our race, not of our religion. We don't know, but even for the strangers, for those suffering bodies.
Ang play na ito ay hango sa kanyang nobela na pinamagatang Fish Hair Woman. Naipalabas na ito sa Australia, Philippines, US, Spain, China, France, Thailand at Slovak Republic. Maraming award na ang natanggap ni Bobis para sa mga na-publish niyang nobela, poetry books at essays. Si Bobis ay nakatira sa Australia at nagtuturo ng creative writing sa University of Wollongong. Isa namang cultural performance ang isinagawa ng Kathara, Canada para sa Second World Indigenous Celebration. Nais nilang ipakita ang kultura ng mga Bagobo na isa sa pinakamalaking indigenous group sa Mindanao.
Ngayong Halloween na, usong-uso ang mga cosmetic lens. Alamin natin ang epekto nito sa ating mga mata sa report na ito.
Ngayong Halloween, usong-uso ang gamit na cosmetic lens sa mga Halloween costumes. Ito ay nagpapadagdag sa forma ng mga gumagamit nito. Inalam namin mula sa eksperto ano ba ang cosmetic contact lenses.
Cosmetic contact lenses are lenses that are worn by kids, adults to alter the look of their eyes during Halloween, let's say. They can also wear them during the year to enhance their colors. They're not unlike prescription contact lenses. The difference being is that with prescription lenses, like glasses, they will offer correction to their sight. The misconception is with the general public, because the lenses are so readily available, they assume that the lenses are safe. And many of these wearers are first-time wearers, so they don't know the process of wearing the lenses successfully as far as insertion and removal, and it increases the inherent risk of wearing the lenses. So when they see their licensed optician or eye care professional, we're trained to advise them on the best type of lenses, colors, styles, and we'll teach them how to insert, remove, and properly care for the lenses, also with proper maintenance schedules.
Tinanong rin namin kung ano ang dapat tandaan sa paggamit ng cosmetic contact lenses.
Well, cosmetic contact lenses are often readily available by unregulated sellers, both in the retail segment and online. So, according to Canadian law, they are seen as a medical device. And by seeking the suggestions by an optician, at least inquiring about the fit and styles, we can help direct the client or patient to the type of contact lens that's safest for them, that'll work for their short-term or long-term use. And as a result, we're going to minimize risk of infection. In some cases, an improperly fit contact lens, and what people should know is that they are not one size fit all, but when they're wearing this contact lens, even for a short period of time, it can cause corneal abrasions, it can cause infections, and in some cases it could lead to corneal ulcers and even vision loss.
At para sa mga magulang, lalo't sa mga kabataan, ano kaya ang may papayo kaugnay sa paggamit ng mga contact lenses ngayong Halloween o maging sa pang-araw-araw na buhay?
Well, what we like to advise the teenagers and kids who are getting into contact lenses is we emphasize overall health. And part of overall health is ocular health, often something that we take for granted. And when obtaining contact lenses from sources other than an eye care professional, we're not sure of the origins of that particular lens. Unlike lenses that we as opticians source out, the quality control is very high and they're FDA approved, making them relatively safe if fit by someone who can closely advise the child or teen how to wear them, adults included. With pop culture, including shows like The Walking Dead and Twilight, it's created a great deal of popularity with contact lenses. I mean, how cool is that, wearing colored contact lenses with your Halloween outfit? So that short-term fun and excitement and wow factor can, if not monitored properly, cause issues in the long term.
At dito po nagtatapos ang aming programa. Samahan niyo kaming muli sa susunod na linggo para sa pinaka-latest na balita tungkol sa mga Pinoy sa BC. Ako po si Irene Carabin.
At ako po si Franco Teleg.
Ito ang Balitang Vancouver.